afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Magnificent Mags channel. The video is slightly earlier than I expected to do. I was going to do one tomorrow, but again, in the world of Newcastle United, not everything's quiet, is it? There's a week between games, but there's always so much to discuss. So I didn't want to cram them all into tomorrow's video. This is just a short one, but I just want to put a few things in here because I didn't want to blow tomorrow's video, like cram it all in, because again, I don't want it to be too long. So I just want to concentrate on a huge game coming up at the weekend against Leicester City. So yeah, anyway, let's get on with it. So the first thing I want to cover is Saudi Arabia. Now, it was just being announced that they have won the bid for the 2034 World Cup. Now again, PIF being warners, I'd just say well done to them, congratulations. They've certainly got the resources, the vision and the ambition to make it a good World Cup. Now, obviously, pros and cons. Again, cons, not going to bore you with political stuff, like we know, like people going about human rights and everything like that. It'll be in the winter again, so yeah, it'll be odd times, trying to work your time out with work and that, like change shifts depending on what your hours are, try and like see the games at odd times. There might be the heat as well. It'll still be warm in that area of the world. Positives though, as I've said, they're ambitious, they've got the resources, the ambition, so they can make it work. And Qatar, despite it being in the winter, was exciting, so who's to say it won't be a success for them. Now, I did note it down. Yes, Yasser Ramayan's become the board member of the Supreme Board Committee with £5 trillion investments to put in there. Now, yeah, just to end on that, I just want to cover it, but yeah, £5 trillion. The irony, that £5 trillion is being able to be invested in that, but Newcastle haven't got a pot of piss in, because yeah, the FA support them, FIFA love them, and all these journalists who are against PIF owning us, sucking up to them. There's some on a moral high ground who for the next decade are going to write about it and claim X, Y and Z. No, it's disgusting and that, but yeah, soon as the tournament comes around, they'll climb down off that moral high horse, they'll dust the passports off, they'll get the passes, they'll get the media passes, board the first flight there, and they'll lap it up with surely a good wage and all expenses paid. So yeah, don't ignore all of them, because even this morning on the Magnificent Mags channel, I have commented about Adam Crafton, everyone's favourite journalist who you love to hate. 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago in November, he's criticised PIF, tagging the Newcastle United hashtag in, deliberately targeting our club and ownership, and yet he's just came out today, but dirty deleted it, saying that he supports the bid and they'll be great. Now, I believe that too. I believe they'll be good hosts, but I'm not a hypocrite. Again, yes, maybe biased to support Newcastle, but I want my club to do well. And he's just another one of them who, it's just selective anger, for outrage. And again, he just picks and chooses when to be angry. He's another one, he'll be straight there lapping everything up. So yeah, all hypocrites out there. But yeah, if you haven't seen me tweet, I've done 2 posts on it, but I've deliberately tagged Adam Crafton in one, and the spineless bloke that he is, I don't expect a response. So yeah, anyway, moving on from that, I'll go on to Fede Fernandez. Well wishes to Federico Fernandez. The club have just posted this afternoon there that he is due to retire from football, and his last game will be next Saturday, the day we play Ipswich at Portman Road. That'll be his last game for his current club. So just want to say he was a good servant, give his all in testing troubling times. So good luck to Fede Fernandez. I hope you enjoy your retirement, and I hope you've enjoyed your career too. Great servant. Another player, a former player that I just want to say a happy birthday to is Alberto Solano. I met him a couple of years back when he was at talking at the Irish Centre, and that was absolutely fantastic. All the time in the world from great servant for Newcastle United. I mean, my God, what a player. He was just like my childhood, like when we signed him late 90s when I was 10 or 11. And we got him, and then just coming to all that, he's got 54 assists, the highest in Premier League history for us. Just what a player on his day. And then obviously, yeah, he went to Aston Villa, but then he rightly came home, and all the time in the world for him. It's unfortunate it didn't happen at Spartans, but yeah, I just want to say happy birthday, Nobby. Feliz cumpleaños. Now, I just want to finish the video with my main talking point now. There's been a lot of, well, it's more frustration. Callum Wilson, that's what I want to cover. Now, I know some people have been like responding to some, like I've done a tweet. I've done a tweet saying we can't keep carrying like players who are injured. But it wasn't anger. There's a lot of misunderstood tweets out there. Well, or posts as it's X now. But yeah, it's not anger at Callum Wilson as a person. Like, I've never met him, but as a person, a human being, no one's having to pop at him personally. No one is. It's not to bring him down. It's just everyone cares about this club and they want to see him play and want to see him do well. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I just want to address that it's not anger, it's not rage. It's just people are frustrated that he's had another setback. And because the main reason is it's the impact that it's having on the squad. Because you've got to think, Wilson being out, like he's just come back. He's had 17-minute cameo basically, just returning from injury. Now he's out for another 2 months, so that's potentially 11 games he's missing. We've got some huge games in there. Not even underestimating this. It's a key period, and the big one is coming up this Saturday. Like Leicester's huge. And the cup games are keeping the season alive against Brentford next Wednesday, both at St James's. Then we're down Ipswich, and then we've got an indifferent Aston Villa up here on Boxing Day, and then we'll go to Old Trafford. So that's and then Spurs. Again, two teams who are like us in the bottom half of the table, where you wouldn't expect and out of form, but it's a huge period. And we just thought, like, Isak has had his injury problems. We know Isak's class, his quality, he's just brilliant. Best striker I arguably think we've had since Alan Shearer. But yeah, it's frustration because it now puts all the burden on Isak. And again, I've said this on previous videos, it's getting tedious, and not against Callum Wilson as a person, which I said in my post. It's getting tedious, the fact that the club didn't have the foresight to replace him, because a bid came in, I believe, from Atletico Madrid last January, maybe 10 or 12 million it was, and we didn't take the chance. And I thought that was the time to cash in, because looking at his stats, his last goal for was the 4th of May, I'd note this down, 4th of May 2024, so end of last season. 2021-22 season, obviously Bruce was sacked, Eddie came in and kept up comfortably. He had 18 games, 8 goals, no assists. Season we finished 4th, 31 games, 18 goals, 5 assists, so better than 1 and 2 for his goal and assist contributions. Last season, 20 games, 9 goals, 1 assist, so that's 1 and 2 for goal contributions. And this season, 4 games, no goals, no assists. So that's given an overall record for Premier League. This is not all competitions. 99 games, 47 goals, 11 assists. So that works out at 1.7 contributions a game. So again, we know he's quality. He's like the best striker we've had since Alan Shearer, and that proves he moved above Peter Beardsley. He's on 47 Premier League goals. Again, yeah, it's never going to overtake Shearer, who's on 148, but he's the second best striker we've had. And again, it's a frustration for, we know he'll be frustrated. His body letting him down. Like, I was there at Forest earlier in the year when he played well all game. We got that 3-2 win, then his pec went in the corner right in front of the away end, and I just felt for him. But again, the tediousness is not the foresight from the club to carry 2 strikers who have the injury problems. I wish Callum all the best. I love Callum Wilson, but it makes you think now, has Eddie been too loyal? The club being too loyal to players with injury problems? I think they are. Like, in other areas, we're still carrying Deadwood like Murphy and Miggy. But yeah, they're going to give him a new contract, but it expires in the summer. Now, I wouldn't pay him off, because I just can't see that happening. It goes against PSR. So I just think the club, again, are just going to let his contract run down. If they give him another contract extension, I will be surprised. I really will. But I've got nothing against the bloke. There's no anger. Just a lot of misunderstood people think it's anger at Callum. It isn't. It's just a frustration that his body's let him down again. Because no one goes into training in our life wanting to be injured. He's worked hard. As he said, I've noted it down. I've got it here. He's his pre-match comments, the irony of it before the Liverpool game in the matchday programme. Football is fickle. True people like the manager remember, but some people forget what happened a few weeks ago, let alone a few seasons. Now, again, yeah, understand that. He might have had a pop with people thinking people are being like horrible towards him, like giving him stick. But fans pay a lot of good money. We pay a lot of money to follow a club home and away, and it's just frustration. Got to understand, like my job, any other job, you do have occupational health and that, but if you're off for a prolonged period of time, you wouldn't get your wages, or you'd get it for maybe a statutory sick pay or full wages for a certain period in SSP, but then your job would sack you. It's just, I know football contracts are different, it's a different world, but again, that's what the frustration's at. And he's missed 93 games since the takeover, and since 2020, 40.37% of games, 7 of them being hamstring injuries. So again, 11 injuries like since the takeover, again from COVID, hamstrings, his pec. Like it's frustration. We really want him to do well, but like reading them stats there, like that's why we're frustrated. We want to see him on the pitch. Just frustration. Now, Craig Hope said that it won't change the club's priorities unless anything happens to Gordon or Isak. But again, Gordon's not a centre forward. But then it's like Harvey Barnes is apparently unsettled. Again, I'll cover some of this tomorrow. But just to say, like, they're looking at selling Barnes because he isn't getting game time. But he's got 10 goals in 13 games. I mean, yeah, a lot of them being substitute appearances. But Barnes was brought in when we maybe thought Gordon wasn't doing too well. And Miggy was playing fantastically on the right at the time. So again, I can understand Barnes wanting to leave. Now it makes you think, oh, could we have kept that money and got a right winger, which was so desperately needed, going back to Nobby Solano. God, if only he was available, he'd be brilliant in this team. But yeah, again, now it looks like we need to keep Barnes, because if Gordon is being kept as a backup centre forward for Isak, then Barnes is going to have to stay there as a left winger, because again, Joe Willock looks like he's injured. Again, cover this tomorrow. And then Joe Linton can play on the left, but he's just completely out of form the last 2 or 3 games. So I'd be surprised if he stays in the squad for Saturday, but injury problems he probably will. So yeah, it's just, Callum said this, I've got the shot again. He's doing everything in his power, as he said today, to be the best versions of himself. But it might be the end of his time here, and it's frustration. Because again, a great player in there, but injuries have hampered him. But yeah, I just think that's the case. But we can't keep carrying players with the ability who could have done so much more, like second all-time Premier League scorer. But it just shows you though. I think Mickey Quinn, even in the old First Division, got more goals for in 3 seasons than Wilson has. Again, it's due to his injuries. Not his fault. That's just how his body's been. But for PSR reasons, we can't keep carrying players who are on big wages and just aren't playing. It's just not sustainable, because it affects the squad long term. And then we haven't got an option. If Isak's out, we're screwed. And we've got a big week coming up. Big week, big end of the month. And then we've got next month where we'll have the FA Cup game, 2 or 3 league games at home as well. And obviously, if we get past Brentford, we might have a potential home leg as well. So we need all the players we can get. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you for tuning in. As I said, it was a last minute video, but I just want to cover a few things so I'm not bloating tomorrow's pre-match video once Eddie Howe's done his press conference pre-Leicester. But again, thank you for everyone who's following the channel. Like, share, subscribe, turn notifications on. It's all appreciated. Looking to grow, as I said, and I'm coming up with new ideas that I'll share with you in the near future. Just little baby steps at a time. But yeah, for now, thank you. Take care. Enjoy your Thursday night. And I'll be back tomorrow with my thoughts pre-Leicester once Eddie's done his press conference. Take care.